Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today, marriage. This is a challenging subject for many, and the answers from Sri Aurobindo and the Mother will uplift and inspire, or perhaps consider the challenges for all who have entered or are considering a marital union. I have sent this to many friends, this marvelous passage from the Mother. To unite your physical lives, your material interests, to become partners in order to face together the difficulties and successes, the defeats and victories of life. That is the very foundation of marriage. But you already know that it is not enough. To be united in your sensations, to have the same aesthetic tastes and enjoyments, to be moved in common by the same things, one through the other and one for the other, that is good, that is necessary. But it is not enough. To be one in your deeper feelings, to keep a mutual affection and tenderness that never vary in spite of all the blows of life, and can withstand every weariness and irritation and disappointment, to be always and on every occasion happy, extremely happy, to be together, to find in every circumstance tranquility, peace, and joy in each other. That is good. That is very good. That is indispensable. But it is not enough. To unite your minds, to harmonize your thoughts and make them complementary, to share your intellectual preoccupations and discoveries. In short, to make your sphere of mental activity identical through a widening and enrichment acquired by both at once. That is good. That is absolutely necessary. But it is not enough. Beyond all that, in the depths, at the center, at the summit of the being, there is a supreme truth of being, an eternal light, independent of all the circumstances of birth, country, environment, education. That is the origin, cause, and master of our spiritual development. It is that which gives a permanent direction to our lives. It is that which determines our destinies. It is in the consciousness of that you must unite. To be one in aspiration and ascension. To move forward at the same pace, on the same spiritual path. That is the secret of a lasting union. Now, some very, very interesting words from Mother. Of course, the whole idea of marriage is amusing because I consider the thing childish. You know, in Aurobindo there will be no marriages. If a man and a woman love each other and want to live together, they may do so without any ceremony. If they want to separate, they can also do so freely. Why should people be compelled to stay together when they have ceased to love each other? A lot of crimes would be prevented if people were free in this respect. They would not have to hide things from one another, or even commit crimes to be separated. Of course, if they truly love each other, they will continue to live together always naturally, without being forced to do so by any law. That is why this ceremony and ritual of marriage is so childish. Children born in Aurobindo will have no family name. They will have just the first name. 15 June 1968. Question to Mother. Sweet Mother, what is the true significance of marriage? Mother, it has hardly any true significance. It is a social custom for the perpetuation of the species. 10 May 1963. Note, in many of the works of Sri Aurobindo, there are numerous references to marriage, and we recommend a careful reading. The quotations below pertain specifically to the subject. From Sri Aurobindo. Regarding your question about a complementary soul and marriage, the answer is easy to give. The way of the spiritual life lies for you in one direction, and marriage lies in quite another and opposite. All talk about a complementary soul is a camouflage with which the mind tries to cover the sentimental, sensational, and physical wants of the lower vital nature. It is that vital nature in you which puts the question and would like an answer reconciling its desires and demands with the call of the true soul in you. But it must not expect a sanction for any such incongruous reconciliation from here. The way of the supramental yoga is clear. It lies not through any concession to these things, not, in your case, through the satisfaction, under a spiritual cover if possible, of its craving for the comforts and gratifications of a domestic and conjugal life, and the enjoyment of the ordinary emotional desires and physical passions, but through the purification and transformation of the forces which these movements pervert and misuse. Not these human and animal demands, but the divine Ananda, which is above and beyond them, and which the indulgence of these degraded forms would prevent from descending, is the great thing that the aspiration of the vital being must demand in the sadhaka. The tendency you speak of to leave the family and social life for the spiritual life has been traditional in India for the last 2,000 years and more, chiefly among men. It touches only a very small number of women. It must be remembered that Indian social life has subordinated almost entirely the individual to the family. Men and women do not marry according to their free will. Their marriages are mostly arranged for them while they are still children. Not only so, but the mold of society has been long of an almost iron fixity, putting each individual in his place and expecting him to conform to it. Doctors advise marriage because they think satisfaction of the sexual instinct is necessary for the health, and repression causes disturbances in the system. This is true only when there is no true giving up of the sexual indulgence, but only a change in the way of indulging it. Nowadays, a new theory has come up which confirms the Indian theory of brahmacharya, that by continence, retas can be changed into ohas, and the vigor and the power of the being enormously increase. As to the question of marriage in general, we do not consider it advisable for one who desires to come to the spiritual life. Marriage means usually any amount of trouble, heavy burdens, a bondage to the worldly life, and great difficulties in the way of single-minded spiritual endeavor.